Hello there. What is going on, everyone? We are going to be talking X-Wing today. I'm also going to be playing a little bit of catch-up because there have been some previews I haven't yet talked about. So with the next wave of X-Wing, we're going to talk about some of the TIE Bomber previews and some of the Y-Wing previews that I hadn't yet covered. There had been some big news. Luke, Eddie, and lots of remaining Fantasy Flight games people have been let go, and so that consumed a lot of my energies over the past couple of days, so I'm trying to get caught up now. I'm sure we'll probably talk more about those other things over the next couple of weeks, but for now, let's focus on X-Wing. Also, big thanks to today's sponsor, Luxury Playstyle. Head over to luxuryplaystyle.com and get your awesome tokens. They are full metal tokens. They come in several different finishes. They're double-sided, gorgeous tokens. You're going to save 15% by using code Crabbok VIP. Also, orders of $35 or more are going to get a free lightsaber nunchuck token while supplies last. Even if you're not getting these for yourself, get them for a friend, a loved one, ask for them for your birthday, or tell your favorite store that these would make excellent prize support. So if they're running some tournaments, hey, we don't have an OP right now, right? There's no organized play, so we got to come up with our own tournament prizes. These are amazing tournament prizes. Let your store know. It's a great way to support your FLGS. Get a tournament going, right? All right, so let's talk about some of the First Order bombers. We've got some upgrades that Atomic Mass had put out over the past couple of days, and of course, these first couple of previews were from yesterday, and there were some Y-Wing previews we're going to look at also. So first thing I want to look at is this gunner. It's a First Order gunner. It does not have any other restrictions, though. So it's not restricted to a specific ship type or anything else. So it's DT-798. And I think this is that one dude from Star Wars Resistance. I think this is like he's got a name, but I just don't. I think this is a dude from Star Wars Resistance, but I never really completely finished Star Wars Resistance, so I don't remember if that little blonde dude that was on the station ended up getting a number. But it says, at the start of the engagement phase, you may choose a friendly ship in your firing arc. If you do, that ship gains a strain token. While you perform an attack, you may reroll up to 1 die for each ship in the attack arc with 1 or more non-lock red or orange tokens. So this is a really cool gunner here. He's giving you free rerolls because you're going to at least be able to put a strain on somebody, and that's probably who you're going to attack, right? And of course, it's going to synergize with all the other mechanics that are putting out, all those orange and red tokens. So if you're going to put out other strain or deplete or you're jamming and all that other stuff, is going to factor into all of those, and we've seen some of those already with this wave. So it looks like a really solid gunner for giving you lots of free rerolls, so you don't have to worry about taking those target locks and or spending target locks if you don't want to. So I like that. At Initiative 5, we have Breach. Great artwork here. He's like flying away, right? Flying away from a Resistance bomber, and it's kind of funny seeing a bomber bombing a bomber. Get it? Like there's some dad jokes there, like bomber, pilot to bombardier, pilot. All right. Anyway, at Initiative 5, Breach is the ordnance expert, and he's got after you fully execute a maneuver or perform a boost action, if you moved through an enemy ship, you may acquire a lock on that ship. Now, I don't believe you can boost through a ship, so again, maybe this is just me being a little rusty on what upgrades do it, but I know that there's something that I can't. There's an upgrade that I believe lets you boost through a ship, but let me know in the comments, because I'm drawing a blank right now, and I know it was out there, and I was thinking about it earlier today, and I'm like, gosh, what there's a way to do that, right? And if there isn't, and he's obviously going to come with one also, but really this is really about kind of doing like a Marg Sable, kind of like moving through somebody, and now I get the to perform a lock on you. So I like that. Although if he's ordnance expert, well, I guess ordnance is not just bombs here. He's really good with the torpedoes and the missiles and stuff like that. So I kind of like that. I kind of like the ability. And of course the bombers do have the pursuit thruster. During the system phase, you may perform a boost action, which is very, very nice. And of course, if that is able to work into this whole mechanic here, then it's going to work out pretty well. Also, if you guys didn't know, there's still time left to enter to win that $25 Amazon gift card giveaway. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment. So there we go. And we've got Scorch. Now, shout out to the artwork on this a little bit. For one thing, it's kind of cool because it's a rear view of the bomber, so I thought that's pretty slick. We don't usually see the backs of ships, and this one has a pretty interesting. Well, we see the backs of ships from time to time, but not a back of a ship like that. Like it's just, I guess it doesn't look like what I was expecting it to look like from the rear. And I've probably seen it on Star Wars Resistance at one point, but usually we've only seen these from the front. So it's an interesting looking, rear kind of, I don't know, hemorrhoid it's got growing on the center rear of it or something like that. And we got ourselves like maybe a little capital ship for the Resistance, possibly kind of flying out there. A nice little cruiser. It almost looks like that new Disney hotel, right? Have you seen that thing? It's almost $5,000 for a weekend. You got to stay in that new Disney hotel. Like, what in the world? Who's going to do that? A lot of people are going to do that, probably. It's like, get that credit card, max out them credit cards, because you're not just going to spend $5,000 for the hotel. You're also going to be buying that. Have you seen the lightsaber? I mean, for crying out loud. Is that what Scorch is doing? Is Scorch attacking the hotel? Don't do that. Those people in there are broke. Well, I guess that's one way you won't have to pay off your credit card debt. If you stay in the Disney hotel and then First Order bombs you, I don't think you have to pay back your credit cards. I'm rambling. Let's go ahead and keep going. This is Initiative 4 for Scorch. While a friendly ship at range 0 to 1 performs a primary attack, it may spend a hit result. If it does, after the defender gains a strain token. So again, this is a nice one to kind of potentially put with if you got a couple of ties, kind of like in the artwork there. You got some wingmen, kind of that maybe they're only going to roll 2 dice. Maybe they're not going to get through, right? But maybe you've got Breach with his really cool missiles and stuff like that. That's ready to go, right? I feel like Scorch and Breach might work well together. That's kind of cool. So that's a thing, I think. Or you could just work on his own, right? We also have some Y-wing previews that were, I guess these were last week, kind of late last week, that I just didn't get to in time. So again, this is also coming out at the same time, but this is for the Resistance Y-wing expansion, the BTA and R2 Y-wings. They are also Initiative 2 attack. They have the intuitive interface, so if they get to perform any actions added to their action bar by elicit a talent or a mod, they get to perform a calculate action. So they basically have computers that are going to give them a little bit of calculation for free. So we have a League of Fossang. I almost said Phosphang. League of Fossang at Initiative 3. While you perform a primary or a turret attack, you may re-roll an attack die for each friendly device or calculating friendly ship in the attack arc. And this is kind of has some synergy, kind of matches up to the other ones, like basically free re-rolls depending on what's in your arc. But only with this Y-wing, it's not red tokens, it's green tokens, or specifically calculating friendly ships. And of course, this is going to have synergy with other Y-wings, because if they're running the intuitive interface, they might have calculate in there, or it might have synergy with anybody who's maybe running droids. If you got C-3PO out there and he's doing calculating stuff, and so there's a little bit of list building potential with that pilot. We have the elicit for overtuned modulators during one charge, not recurring. And during the system phase, if you are not stressed, you may spend a charge to gain 3 calculate tokens. During the end phase, if your charge is inactive, for each green token you have, gain a strain token. So you can gain all of those calculate tokens, but hopefully you're going to use them. All right, I'm like, oof, that's rough. That's rough. I don't know how much I don't know how crazy I am about that, but I feel like maybe it's not the best thing for a while. Well, maybe if you got multiple attacks, or if you're going to be getting shot multiple times. But with only the one defense die, you're probably going to end up getting some strain. But it's a cool idea. I like the design space of this card. And of course, the Watchful Astromech was previewed. I think we had seen this one already, and because these packs are already in people's hands and people have been posting some spoilers, but this is the high-res version of it. After you perform a rotate or reload action, if there's an enemy ship's if you're in an enemy ship's firing arc, you may perform a red calculate action. So again, it's another way to get a calculate. It doesn't have to be in a Y-wing, but you might run it in a Y-wing. And we've got L4ER5. By the way, Watchful Astromech is not restricted at all, so he can go anywhere. It's kind of cool. But speaking of resistance-specific astromechs, here's L4ER5. I feel like is that supposed to be lasers or layers? Because usually when they do something like that, it's supposed to spell something layers. I don't know. It should be lasers. It should have been L45ER5. Then it could have been lasers, and that would have been a really cool name for a droid. Maybe if I get an astromech, I'll name him Lasers. But yes, he's going to be resistance only with a turret rotate, and he's going to give you turret rotate into a white calculate, which is nice. At the start of the engagement phase, you may transfer a calculate token to a friendly ship in your firing arc, which is nice. So, of course, that is going to work a little bit better with something like overtuned modulators, right? If you're, hey, I'm going to hold on, starting engagement phase, and this is during the system phase. So yeah, those can work together. So I think that's the kind of the reasonable way to kind of run that. Like, oh, I've got 3. I don't quite need 3. Here's one for you. So now maybe I'll spend 2, and if I don't spend them all, it's less of a penalty because I don't have quite so many. So, but that's a pretty good support, pretty overall nice little thing to have, especially if your buddies are K-turning and now they at least have something, So yeah, so those are our previews. I think we're all caught up now. Some of the release dates have been pushed back a little bit. The new Asmodee site is now kind of showing some of the previews on like what's going to be coming out also. So, but I some stuff that was getting ready to come out like this month got pushed back to next month and stuff. I would just expect delays. I think that's reasonable to expect some delays, but be patient. And of course, we'll do some unboxings on these when they do come out, and we'll bring you that. I will talk to you guys soon. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing. And I couldn't do this without your continued support. So thank you so much for that. And remember, don't eat diapers after they've been worn.